What is up, party people? Hope all is well on this Monday. Doing better than Los Angeles, the place that I used to call home, by the way, which is back to being semi-ish on fire. Reminds me of 1992 when the riots took place there. And these were the George Floyd riots, though. No, this was the Rodney King acquittal riots of the 4 officers. Today, though, in this past few days, it's been all about ICE, ICE, baby. And I'm here to tell you, like a lot of people, I come from a family of immigrants. My grandfather came from Mexico, was born and raised there, thick accent till the day he died. God rest his soul. And my grandfather loved this country like nobody's business, lived for this country, loved this country, but was a law-abiding citizen, became a citizen, loved this country, lived for this country, cared for this country in his heart and soul. And never, once he left, he never thought of Mexico as home. And one thing you could never, ever, ever in your wildest dreams do was catch him with an American flag burning or a Mexican flag anywhere. That would never happen. In fact, he was so dead against my uncle and I even learning Spanish. He didn't want any part of that. And you guys have seen my uncle on the show on a few occasions. He wanted no part of that. He wanted us to love this country. We were born and raised here. He wanted us to love it. This was the greatest place on earth. He loved it. He'd be rolling in his grave if he saw what was happening in California. First of all, what in God's name are you thinking? Just out of curiosity. Just do you honestly think that doing this? Yeah. Call you later. Is going to endear people to your cause. And the LA Times has a thing that says the Los Angeles immigration riots, the Mexican flag is a symbol. What's the symbol? The symbol that you risked everything to get over to our country, the symbol that you were willing to flee the hell that you thought your country was in, that was such a shit show to come here to have an opportunity. Is that it? Is that the symbol? I'm curious about the symbol that you're talking about. I don't want to see the Marines. I don't want to see any military on the streets. I think that's a bad look. And I think that Gavin Newsom is hoping and praying that Trump arrest him because it raises his profile even more, because that's really what Gavin's all about. Gavin cares about Gavin. He doesn't give 2 shits about any of these people on the street. He cares, can you raise my if you could raise my brand a little bit more, my awareness to everybody a little bit more as part of the resistance, that's great, because he doesn't have anything going on, because he's going to be done as governor. Can't run for governor again. He wants to be president of the United States. And so, this whole like, oh, he's going to come and get me. You want that. You hope he does. That's your goal. And if I'm Trump, I don't you guys deal with it. And I see a lot of people out there, and we tweeted it out. You call them in and knock it down. And you know what? It's a state thing. Let the state handle it. Right? If he doesn't want to call in the National Guard and he wants people, because the one thing I know about coming from Los Angeles and coming from anywhere in California is, and I'll tell you guys a little secret, when you fuck with traffic, when you make it so it is hard for human beings to do their daily business in a place that's already a tough place to do their business, whether it is getting to work, it is getting from work, whether it is just trying to get across the city for a quick little meeting, it doesn't matter. When you make it ridiculously hard, people, they step away and they get pissed. And I will tell you this, I've always been one of these people. If you make my life more difficult because of your cause, whatever that cause is, even if I support your cause, I may be like, yeah, that's a great cause, I'm all about it. If you make it so my life becomes more difficult because you want to glue yourself to the freaking floor or whatever bullshit that you want to do, if you make my life that much more difficult, I will do everything in my power to actively do anything I can to make sure that your cause fails. And that will eventually happen here. But this is a nightmare. And waving the American flag, and you want to be out there and protesting, fine. You want to wave the Mexican flag, going out there to protest. The minute you do shit like you just saw there, or this, The minute you do that, you've passed the point of protest. And you're going to F around and you're going to find out. And I have zero problems with that. You thin the herd a little bit. That's what you get. You want to come out. You want to play this game. You want to run around and scream and yell that ICE is evil and bad and all the things. ICE worked with Biden. They worked with Trump before. This was not something that they just magically came up the day after Trump was elected. Like, all right, now we got to come up with something where guys and gals go in and do raids. And no, it is effing sane to even have this conversation about acting like this. And I saw it as in Minneapolis, this whole thing about resistance. And we're going to wave the flag of some other country. Fuck you. The horse you rode in on. That is absolute bullshit. I am all about being opening. Let's find out a way that we can figure out how the people that have been here for a long time, who haven't caused any problems, the way that there can be a penalty, a phase where they go to the back of the line, temporary opportunities there. We can discuss this. This doesn't further that. This is not reading the room. This is a situation where everybody's going to start to go, meh. Yeah, you're going to get the liberals out there. It's the worst thing that's ever happened. You're going to get people like this out here.
Innocent fucking citizens are being thrown into a goddamn war zone for the color of their skin! National fucking Guard has been deployed in Los Angeles by Donald Trump to suppress peaceful protest! Peaceful fucking protest! And that's not all! They're planning aggressive ICE enforcement for 30 fucking days in LA! 30 days of terrorizing immigrant communities! Now they want to send the fucking U.S. Marines! Are you fucking kidding me? ICE officials are in Pasadena right now, a community hit hard by wildfires, and now they gotta deal with militarized government fucking harassment by living in trauma, and we're adding military gear and ICE raids. If you think that's it, no, they're firing chemical irritants at fucking peaceful protesters. Protesting is our First Amendment right, fascist fuck.
Okay, he's very upset about everything. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you where your First Amendment right ends. You want to go out there and you want to scream and yell and stand there and wave a flag, fine. You want to call the cops, whatever you want to call them, ICE, whatever you want to call them. You want to do that, knock your shit out. That's your First Amendment right. When you start lighting shit on fire, when you start breaking things, when you start chasing cops, when you start doing the things you're doing by throwing bricks at officers, you crossed your First Amendment right. No place you can go look at the Constitution. No place to say, you know what? You should throw a brick at a moving vehicle because that's the right thing to do. No place does it say that anywhere in the Constitution, you fucking asshat. At no time does it say that. And I love how they get pissed off because, they're wearing masks. I'm like, yeah, and? Well, they're wearing masks. Yeah, because they don't want to be doxxed, which has already happened. Well, I'm out here in Nashville, and what happened in Nashville 2 weeks ago? The names of the ICE people and their pictures were put on a website and then taken down really quick, and they're like, we're apologizing. The mayor goes, I made sure they took it down. No, this is not how you do shit. This is why they're doing what they're doing. And everybody screams about, well, they shouldn't be wearing masks. Well, let's see here. How are you guys going to go out there and handle your business, you agitators?
Los Angeles, if you're thinking about going out into the streets and protesting ICE, here's how to protect yourself in under a minute. The most important thing to be aware of is making sure that you are not identifiable. That means covering up anything distinguishable like dyed hair or tattoos, and also wearing a mask, which is also really important for keeping disabled allies safe. And on this point, you also want to avoid wearing anything with logos. Try to wear all black if you can. Next up, the police cannot compel you to unlock your phone without a court order. However, they can use your face to unlock your phone, so make sure that you turn off Face ID. It's also smart to turn off your location, but make sure that a trusted individual knows where you are. This is an obvious one, but I see it so often. Don't post on social media, especially do not post other people's faces or identifying information. And if you absolutely have to communicate with people while you're there, use the Signal app. Do not use iMessage. And make sure that your chats are set to delete. Don't put yourself in unnecessary danger to protect your neighbors. We're going to abolish ICE through strategic and thoughtful protest.
No, you're not. You're not going to abolish ICE. This thought of we're going to just get rid of this group. Okay, so then what? Are we just not going to have a border? Are we just not going to have anything? I mean, this insanity of the left, but this isn't helping anybody. This isn't having a conversation. This isn't. And I said it today, and I'll say it again. I said it when I did my afternoon show. I didn't do my morning show this morning. I don't want the Marines rolling down, right, the 405. unless they're on their way to Camp Pendleton because they just came from somewhere and they're moving something. I don't want them out there. I don't think anybody else wants them out there. And once you start doing some of the things you're doing, should you have sent the National Guard in? Well, Trump did. Should Gavin Newsom? I mean, do I think it's an insurrection? No. Do I think it's absolutely horseshit that this is happening? That you let this happen to your city? Which, by the way, it's happening to your city in the places these people live. These outside agitators come in here and they do all this stuff and they break shit and they light shit on fire and they cause a mess. Who does that hurt? You think the dude is going to go to work tomorrow in Pacific Palisades or in Santa Monica or in Long Beach? You think he's going, oh my God, I can't. No, he's not. He's fine, right? You think the lady that's a doctor, right, in Sherman Oaks is going, oh, geez, no. So you're tearing up your own street. You're running around with a flag and you're begging, pissed off. And you're not running around because we decided to let Mexico have California and you're all pissed off or excited. No, you're running around because you want to stay in this country. And you think somehow waving the Mexican flag or the El Salvadorian flag or the Honduran flag or the Guatemalan flag or whatever flag you want to wave is going to get the rest of the nation to go, geez, we should be pals. No, it isn't. You're an asshat for even thinking that. An epic asshat for even thinking that. I was talking to somebody today. I said, I couldn't even, for the life of me, think to myself when I lived in England that if there was a protest about something that I didn't agree with, that I should go outside and wave an American flag and light shit on fire and dance on top of cop cars or do anything. That is the fact that they've allowed any of that to happen. I mean, and then when I hear, well, they shouldn't do anything. Really? Well, the minute you start throwing rocks and bricks off overpasses onto cop cars, you cross the line. And think what you want that, a lot of people are with us. In some blue cities, they may be celebrating a little bit of this. But let me tell you what's going on in a lot of places across the country. Even some of my friends who are uber liberal go, this is not the way. This looks awful. Yeah, because it's not a conversation. It's a bunch of children who are doing adult things and throwing a fit like a child. And that's not going to get you what you think you want. Tomorrow we'll have a lot more of this. We're going to do a bigger video tomorrow. And tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific, 9 to noon on the West Coast. The East Coast, we got that going on. So check out our radio show. Go to radioamerica.com, or you can check us out at chadbensonshow.com as well. So we're going to be live tomorrow doing both radio shows all day. And then we'll have a bigger video tomorrow night talking a lot more about this, the chaos. We're going to see if we can have a couple people on who are actually in the midst of it all, shaking their heads going, what the hell's going on? Because there seems to be a lot more underneath it. How many are really paid agitators? How many are just people that are pissed and angry and want to join into this? And what is the next step? And are we going to see military on not just the streets of potentially of Los Angeles, but several other places if this gets out of hand and quote unquote mostly peaceful protest again? Your First Amendment right, like we talked. Let's go over this again. It ends when you throw rocks, bricks, and or light things on fire. That's when your First Amendment protesting goes away. Just letting you guys know.